Today's daf is Kuf Mem Aleph 141. Ha'omer miyalda ishti zachar. Somebody says, if my wife gave birth to a male child, he's going to give $100. If it's a female child, $200. Now, the Gemara takes the Mishnah's example at face value. Does that mean Lameimer Shabbos Adifa Lemi Ben? Is the Mishnah valuing a female daughter more than a male daughter? Whoever doesn't leave a son to inherit him, Hashem is angry with him. Which is anger. So, when it comes to leaving a son in order to inherit a person, that's preferable. Because remember, if you leave it over to your daughter, the daughter might get married to a different shevet, and the piece of land from one shevet will be transferred to another shevet. That's not ideal. But le'in arvacha, but to decide who should he give more money to support his children, bito adifale. A woman cannot earn as much as a son, so she is oimed for more support. Shmuel gives a different reason. Shmuel amar hacha b'mevakeres. We're talking about a woman who's never had a child before. Askinan krav chizah shamav chizah bas chila simin yafel abonim. The reason he offered more money for a bas, because having a bas first is a good siman for having future sons. The older daughter helps raise the children. So having a bas initially is a siman good for future brothers. If you have a son as a bechor right away, people give you an ayin hara. So this is having a daughter first is less ayin hara. And Rav Chizda said, I have more preference for daughters, because his sons-in-law, say the Meforshim, were Gdolei Ador. So they were married to his daughters. He was happy with that. Iboy Sema Hamani, who is our Mishnah like, which seems to prefer a bas? Rav Yehuda. Which Rav Yehuda? Hey, Rav Yehuda. Elaim Rav Yehuda from Bakol, the Tanya. It says by Avram Avinu, Vashem Beirachas Avram Bakol. Rav Meir Omer Shalai Salabas. Rav Meir says the blessing was he didn't have a daughter. Rav Yehuda Omer no, Shalai Salabas, Uvakol Shma. The Bakol means he had a daughter, and her name was Bakol. So there's a bracha. So the Gemara says that's not necessarily a proof. Eimer Shashamis Rav Yehuda Barta Nami Lo Chasrei Rachmana Lavrab. That to show that Avram got everything, including not missing out on not having a daughter. He was mashlim, the mitzvah of pruervu, by having a ben Abba. But but that doesn't bring proof that a daughter is greater than a son. Elahar Rav Yehuda, the following Rav Yehuda, the Tanya. Mitzvah lazim abundance. It's a mitzvah for a father to provide parnasa for his daughters. Why? Because the aske b'toyrim, Rav Meir. Sons have to learn Torah, so it's even more of a mitzvah to support them. Rav Yehuda mitzvah lazim sabonim v'kavachomer l'abundance. Shalom litzalon. They could degrade themselves by looking for money. It's much better if they had money as a gift from the father. Now, Elahad Tanya Yolda Zachor Nekeva. The Mishnah said that if the father said that if my wife gives birth to a Zachor and a Nekeva, a Zachor noitel shisha dinorim, which is 150 dinar, va Nekeva's noitel shnei dinar, which is 100. Excuse me, which is 50. Now, b'mai, what is the case? Amar Ravashi, Amitel Shmaitza Kamin Rav Kahana, b'Mesairis. He mixed up his words Sha'omar, Zachar Tchila. If it's a male child first, I'll give Mosai. Nekeva achrav, and if a daughter is born after, she won't get anything. In Nekeva tchila, mana, she gets 100. Zachar achra, mana. If a son is born after the daughter, he gets 100. Yalda zachar v'nekeva liyadin hemi nafak bereisha. If he gave birth to a son and a daughter, and we don't know who came out first, so zachar shakal mana because we mana of shach. In either way, he got a mana. And idich mana have mabana mutal b'savik. The other 100 is we don't know whether who came out first, so we divided cholkit. So in that case, the son gets another 50, and the bas gets 50. So the son gets sachat kol 150, the bas gets 50. In another brayse it says, if it gave birth to a zachar and a keva, he only gets 100. So what case does that work? It's not giving it to the child himself, it's giving it to the person who informs him that he had a child. The Tanya. Whoever gives me the information on which gender opened up the uterus of my wife, in Zachar, Yitol Mana, then the one who gives me the information will get $100. Yolda Zachar, Noitel Mana. In the Keva, Mana. Yolda Nekeva, Noitel Mana. Yolda Zachar Nekeva, Eilola Mana. He also gets 100. Va Zachar Nekeva Lo Amar. He didn't say what he's going to give for Zachar Nekeva. Domer Nami Im Zachar Unekeva together Nami Yitol Mana. So Lemuute Mai. So in each case, going to get a mana. Who's not going to get anything? Lemuute Nefel. That if the person who's going to inform him that a stillborn was born, then he won't get anything for that. Hauda Amrla Ledvisu, person said to his wife, I want to give my assets to the fetus that you are pregnant with. He's trying to give something to an uber. You can't be makna something that isn't in the world yet. That he says, if my wife gives birth to a zachar, I'm going to give $100 to the child. Yitol zachar not l'mana. So why isn't that like he gave the gift to the fetus also? I don't know who learned this Mishnah. Whose shita is it? I think it's confused because the Uber is not born yet. And you can't give him, you can't be mocked anything to him. So the Gemara wants to know, why did Rav Huna have to answer? Lema lei. Rav Meir Yishamar Adam Makna Davar Shalom B'Layla. Rav Meir holds, then you can do a kinyan on something that doesn't exist in the world. So the Gemara says, Eimer Shasham Slave Rav Meir. For example, you have a palm tree, the fruits haven't grown yet, but they're destined to grow. The palm tree is L'davar Sheyesh Ba'olam, but L'davar She'eina Ba'olam at all. The fetus is not in the world. Mishamisle. Would we hold that Rav Meir holds he can be mocked to this? Le'malei Rabbi Yossi Sha'amar Ubrakani. Rabbi Yossi has a shita that you can be koined to a fetus, Desnan. You have a Bas Yisrael is married to a Kohen, and she became pregnant, and the husband dies. Ha'uber poisel. The avodim of the Kohen that normally eats truma. Now the fact that there's a fetus there, the fetus prevents the avodim from eating truma. It's not considered a kohen because it's not born yet. Ve'eno ma'achil doesn't allow the woman to eat truma. Div Rabbi Yossi. So why is the uber pasli? Because he's a yorish already. So we see even a fetus in the womb can be yorish. Shani Yerusha Abba Me'leha. You don't have to do a Maisa Kinyan on a Yerusha. The person dies, you're Yorish it, without any kind of Maisa. That's why an Uber can be coined. But if you're being makna something to an Uber, that's not a Yerusha, that can't work, even according to Rabbi Yossi, Rabbi Meir. Maybe it's Rav Yochanan ben Broika. To Omar, Loishna Yerusha. There's no difference with a Yerusha that comes on its own, Veloshna Matana, that you need a Kinyan. It's the same din, this not. Rav Yochanan ben Broika Oimer. somebody who wants to give his assets to somebody else. If the statement is made to a person who is fit to be Yorishim, Dvarv Kayomi. So, that doesn't prove that Rav Yochanan ben Broka says you can be mocked to something that's not in the world. He never said that it works if the fetus is not in the world. So the Gemara says, Lema le Rav Yochanan ben Broka. This like Rav Yossi. He holds like both. Who compares Rav Yochanan ben Broka compares the matana to Yerusha, and he holds like Rav Yossi that an Uber is considered a Yorish. So first of all, we have no proof that he holds like Rav Yossi. Maybe he doesn't hold like Rav Yossi. And another issue, Lema le, Ruvona already answered our mission. Says it's not talking about giving the gift to the child itself. Is Bim Vasreni giving it to the person who gives him the information about the late. So it's not a mezakil uber at all. So the Gemara says, "Yachi diktani seif of vein sham yoresh elahu yoreshakol." We said that if the tumtum is the only person around, there's no bas, there's no ben, he inherits. So even Vasreni, if the Mishnah is talking about the person who's informing about the lady, Yorish Ma'avidite. Well, what are we talking about a Yorish here? So the Lema we should be told that the Mishnah is talking about B'shiyolda, that the wife gave birth. And it has nothing to do with the Uber. The gift should be given to the child after it's born. We just don't know if it's a Zohar or Nekeva yet. Well, if that's the case, the Tani Seif of him, Omar, Komasha Teled Ishti Yito, Hareza Yito. Whatever my wife gives birth to, she'll get money. We shouldn't say Kol Sheteled, it's Kol Sheyolda B'Boleh. If you're saying that this money is given to a child after he's born, it has nothing to do with the Uber, the phraseology should be not what the wife is going to in future give birth to. It should say Kol Sheyolda, what he gave birth as well, what he gave birth already to. So the Gemara will have to continue this tomorrow in the Gemara. Thank you very much.